right, Merry Christmas, everybody. It is Pooka. It is Christmas Day. Hashtag no days off. Welcome, everybody. It's been a long time. I hope to see some comments. Hope to see some of you on here. But it's kind of a busy day, so forgive you if you're not. You know the drill. Share, like, subscribe. And like I said, looking forward to catching you all. Like I said, Christmas Day, here we go. Looking festive. Prime ribs being cooked. Eggnog's being sipped. Good stuff. And Blue Line Brews being sipped. Of course, we talk about them a lot. 15% off. Save 15. Blue Line Brews. BlueLineBrews.com. Or you'll be able to go down in the show notes. You just go down. You'll be able to click the link. Bring you to Blue Line Brews. Save 15% off. They have, 3 different blends. Justice, Stakeout, and Detective Special. 1 light or medium, and then 2 dark roasts. So save 15. Blue Line Brews. 10% of their profits back to, well, I can read it for you right here. 10% of purchases help families of fallen or wounded officers. Right here on the label. And for those of you along the Iron Range, Blue Line Brews, these exact bags are starting to appear in some stores, so keep your eye out there. All right, wanted to take a few minutes today and do a video. For those of you that follow the One to Go show, I haven't been on for the last couple of weeks. It'll be some time, most likely now, because the other show that I do, the Tea with Miss McGill, the hockey one, we're full-fledged right now with that. So Ryan and Bert with the One to Go show did the best of 2021 show the other day, so I just want to throw a few of my comments in there, and we'll kind of compare some notes and see what we got. And like I said, if you're into hockey, primarily high school hockey in northern Minnesota, Tea with Miss McGill, you can find that on a podcast. It's called Tea with Miss McGill. If you're looking for it on YouTube or Facebook, search G.O.A.T Sports Media LLC. That's the parent company of the One to Go show and the Tea with Miss McGill show, and you can find, it's a weekly show, you can find that there. So with that, we will dive into some of the 2021 stuff for racing. One of the questions, the first question, kind of what sticks out in 2021. I had a couple of comments there. I mean, I guess the biggest thing for me is Kyle Larson's year. Chili Bowl, Kings Royal, Coca-Cola 600, Prairie Dirt Classic, the NASCAR Championship, of course. I don't know if a guy will ever have a season like that again. Just absolutely incredible what he did, not only in 2021, but also what he did back in 2020 after, remember, being released, getting fired from his NASCAR ride. So here's a guy in 2020 that doesn't know what his future holds, and then obviously signs with Hendrick at the end of 2020, and then comes out in 2021, wins the NASCAR championship. Pretty cool stuff. Of course, Brandon Overton, a lot of attention paid to Brandon this year, well-deserved. Got close to that $1 million. As a dirt track racer, very impressive. Didn't quite get there, but I think we'll all remember Brandon Overton in 2021. Best race of the year category. National and regional. Now, I'm going to go national and regional, although both of these tracks and races took place in our region. But my best national race of the year will be the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars up in Grand Forks. The makeup race to that event. It was the makeup event, and that's the poster for it. Brad Sweet passes Sheldon Hottenchild, leads only about 25 feet of that race on the little bull ring up in Grand Forks. It was a fantastic race. I think everyone in the crowd kind of thought Sheldon had it. He was well in control. There was a late restart. Sweet was fast, but it's not like he really got close to passing him at all at any point in the event until coming out of 4. Passes him on that short straightaway, leads about 25 feet. So that is my best national race. My best regional race, although it was a national event, it was held in the region, would be the USA Nationals. Kyle Bronson, if you remember, thumping that cushion, and it was a matter of everyone knew he was the fastest car. Could he hold on, though, when you're riding the rim like that? Or would he put it in the wall, or would he break? He ended up breaking. I think he lost the lead with about 15 or 12 to go. Was still running third or fourth and ended up pulling off. He ended up being a DNF. But that race was very exciting because you knew, Bronson, his style, no holds barred, and he was going for it every single lap, thumping that cushion, and of course the cushion pushed up to the wall and got to be too much for Kyle Bronson. So that's my favorite regional race. Best finish of the season, I'm going to agree with Ryan on this one. This would have been the Dan Ebert, Shane Sabraski battle at the Big O this fall. I think that was at the... it wasn't the Topless, it was what they call the Fall Nationals. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, I digress if I got the name wrong. But, Sabraski fighting for that national title in the mods, and Ebert nips him on the last lap, and it comes and gets him right at the checkers. Fantastic finish at that race. Clutch performer. I kind of want to say a little bit about TPO at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. They had that nose coming for that young guy coming out of 4, caution, TPO gets down. So that was a close runner-up. But the one I dug up was Chase Gelling was his first ever late model win out at the 50th annual Jamestown Stampede. Think about this. A big in-fight, lots of tradition, 50th annual, gets his first ever late model win, and to put a little icing on the cake here, beats his dad, Kurt, to the line. That was on the second day. So congrats, Chase Gelling. That was the clutch performance. He had to hang on. He had to have been nervous. He's just a young racer. So congratulations to Chase. Like I said, especially beating your dad to do it. Perfecto. Best regional event of the year. I got to go way back to June. And it was the late model event, the memorial race. I can't even remember the name. I didn't have time to look it up. It's Christmas. Said prime ribs in the oven. Lots going on. But that late model event in Houston, it's not so much that it was the greatest race ever. Pospisil ended up victorious in that one, but it was because we got to see late models on Houston. And Curing is having, he's got some late model events in Jackson, he's the late model event at Houston. So he's kind of getting the late models mixed in there. So it was cool to see late models at Houston. Just seeing Houston, it's a fantastic facility. Hopefully the late model portion of Houston will continue to grow just a little bit. We'll get to be able to catch the fat tires with fenders on Houston. All right, so that's my best regional event. Of course, Giassi and Glenson made it over there. So that was pretty cool to see them travel that far for that one. Top national event. Ryan had the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Bert had the World 100. I'm going to just say Eldora in general. What Tony did coming off the pandemic year and going with, the double Dreams in June, the double Kings Royal in July, and then the double World in September. Fantastic. Never been done before, never seen before. They had to kind of dream that one up. So my top national event is just all the big events, basically, that Eldora did this year would be considered my top national events. Best regional track of 2021. That was a tough one. I've got a bias to Cedar Lake. I love it. I've got a bias to Grand Forks. I love it. Mississippi Thunder's done a lot lately. Deer Creek seems to be falling off the tape just a little bit. That's a stock I would have bought 10 years ago. I don't know if I would have so much anymore. And then Fergus with that was Ryan's pick with Don Shaw, kind of coming on board. But I think I am going to go back to the aforementioned Huset's. Like I said, I think Todd Kearing breathing some new life in there. It's always been a great place and a popular place. $100,000 World of Outlaw Sprint Car race coming here in June of 2022. Like I said, that they had the late model race. I think that there's going to be a lot of big things coming, and they're going to continue to improve things there in Huset's. So I'm taking Huset's for my regional track of the year for 2021. Rex. I think I've got some info on Rex here. Let's see here. So Ryan was talking about some rollovers and Rex. They had mentioned the big wreck out in Shawano. I can't remember the guy's name. Maybe was it Swedberg? Ryan mentioned the big Brian Strand or Dustin Strand rollover in North Dakota. I'm going to remember the big Tim Johnson rollover at the Twin 25s that took place. And he went head on, throttle stuck, And for those of you who've been to Superior, it was in 1 and 2, about the middle of the corner. You know, there's not a lot of space, and he launched between the track and the pits, and that was my biggest concern. All I really saw was a plume of dust because I was focused on the leaders at the time. But there were many bad rollovers this year for whatever reason. I think I've got some notes here. There was the one in Deer Creek, the street stock. Jason Fager, which Bert had mentioned, at the Dream. Brandon Jensen in Hibbing had a pretty bad one. Yeah, it was Brad Mueller out there in Shawano. SpaceX up at the Labor Day shootout, but the one that's going to take the cake for me is the Jake Tim rollover during the Discount Shop Towels Dirt Kings Series race at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway, where he rolled it right at the flag stand, being pushed by a couple of cars. I think Rodney Sanders might have been in the mix there. So that was my top wreck, the night to forget for 2021. Drivers who stood out, there's not just one. We talked about Kyle Larson. We mentioned Brandon Overton. Kennedy Swan, breakout year. We talked a lot about her. If you didn't know Kennedy Swan in 2020, you know her in 2021. Chasten Finkbone, more locally, for me. Young gun. He's my daughter's grade, so what's he, a 7th grader? Won the Labor Day shootout, youngest racer ever to win the Labor Day shootout. Pat Dorr had a pretty darn consistent year in the late model. Shane Sobraski, great years in both mods and supers, but completely dominant in that super. How about Kevin Burdick, too? At least 2 $5,000 to win races, maybe more, but I'm pretty sure at least 2 $5,000 to win races. And you're making 10, 15 grand in super stock, you're a total stud. That's what happens. That's how you know you're a total stud, when you're cashing in and making that kind of cash. So congrats to all of you. You all made the list on who stood out for drivers. Ryan loves the Top Donkey Awards. I think that just the continued deck height problem with the mods, it came up, I believe it was right around the 4th of July there with the border battle. I think that was the big race down at the Gondik Law Speedway in Superior. That was the big one. And, it just never really went away. We were hearing rumblings of stuff all the way at the Wizota 100 where people were saying, is there a deck height? Is there a clearance? Or is there some give here, some leeway? And they're like, no, it's absolute. And so we're kind of all over the map on that deck height situation. So I would say that would have been, the Top Donkey Award. Now, let me see if there's anything else that I've really got here. Well, I guess one thing that I wanted to mention too, kind of the comeback driver of the year, Ryan and Bert didn't talk about that, but I wanted to mention Mark Dobmeyer up in Grand Forks. Remember, he broke his neck during COVID. Cedar Lake had that special that was actually televised on CBS Sports. Remember, you had to walk through the COVID machines, whatever they had down there. I don't know if you actually had to, but they advertised that you were supposed to. I don't know that people really did. But they had that 2-day, I think it was 20,000 to win lates each night, 20,000 to win sprints each night. And he broke his neck. Well, he came back in July, all healed up, and won his first race. So comeback driver of the year for me would go to Mark Dobmeyer. So I think that about wraps it up for me. Probably, of course, be my last live of 2021. Again, BlueLineBrews.com, save 15. We're going through checkout, save 15. It's the promo code. You'll save 15%. And I just want to thank everybody who's been, following Racer Pooka, or following me on YouTube, following the One to Go show, following the T. Miss McGill show, following Goat Sports as a whole umbrella. Really want to appreciate that. Thankful. Like I said, wishing all of you a fantastic Christmas. Happy New Year here. Best wishes in 2022. And that will wrap it. So, like I said, everyone have a fantastic Christmas. Happy New Year. And we'll catch you on the next video.